The international arms trade has just been shaken by a geopolitical plot twist. Indonesia has signed a $1 billion deal for 2 advanced Turkish Istif-class frigates, but the entire transaction is being financially guaranteed by Qatars Barzan Holdings at the Dimdex exhibition in January 2026. This means Jakarta is using Middle Eastern credit lines to rapidly acquire Ankara-built warships to address a critical security gap in the North Natuna Sea. By the end of 2023, Indonesia's minimum essential force modernization plan had officially stalled at only 76% due to intense budget constraints. This delay left the nation's maritime boundaries dangerously exposed, exactly as foreign nations deployed massive 12,000-ton hulls like the Coast Guard vessel 5901 into Indonesia's exclusive economic zone. To secure immediate strategic leverage, Turkey took an unprecedented step by shifting its own naval schedule, diverting the steel structures originally meant for the Turkish Navy vessels TCG Izmir and TCG Isil to configuration lines tailored for rapid delivery to Jakarta. On paper, their only tactical salvation would be the rapid deployment of these multi-mission hulls, yet leading global defense analysts argue that integrating unproven architecture into an already fragmented fleet could leave the Navy tactically vulnerable. Is this billion-dollar trilateral pact a stroke of strategic genius, or has Jakarta just walked into a logistical nightmare that could leave its frontline fleet defenseless during a major crisis? Before we go on, if you want to understand the hidden mechanics of global defense networks, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. And tell me where you are watching from. The technical reality behind the Istif-class design reveals a deep integration of unproven systems that poses a significant challenge. Turkey marketed this 3,150-ton hull as a showcase of self-sufficiency, yet key combat systems like the Advent Combat Management System developed by Havelson and the My-DLAS vertical launching system by Roxen have never been thoroughly tested in high-intensity, real-world combat situations. This lack of combat validation creates an immediate risk for a Navy operating under active maritime pressure. Compounding this risk is the severe problem of logistical fragmentation within the Indonesian surface fleet. Currently, the Naval Command operates the Martadinata class, utilizing the Dutch Tactico's combat management system. Meanwhile, the large patrol vessel KRI Brawijaya 320, delivered from Italy in late 2025, relies on the Athena architecture, and the Merah Putih frigates under assembly at the PTPAL shipyard are being built around British design frameworks. By introducing the Turkish Advent system, the fleet adds a fourth distinct command framework. Because these combat management systems use entirely different encryption and communication data protocols, these warships cannot seamlessly share tactical tracking data in real time without extensive intermediate translation software. Leading global defense analysts argue that if a localized electronic warfare attack occurs, this communication barrier could leave individual vessels completely isolated. Furthermore, the financial burden extends far beyond the initial $1 billion purchase price. Naval logistics specialists estimate that maintaining such an uneven fleet can increase operational and support expenses by up to 40%. Indonesia must establish and fund 4 separate maintenance pipelines, distinct crew training programs, and stockpiles for highly specialized ammunition types, ranging from French Exocet missiles to European Aster interceptors, and now the Turkish Atmaca anti-ship missiles. Despite these immense logistical liabilities, the overwhelming firepower of the Istif class explains exactly why Jakarta accepted the gamble. On paper, their only tactical salvation in the contested North Natuna waters would be a massive increase in offensive missile density, and the Turkish design delivers exactly that. While standard regional warships like the Singaporean Formidable class or the Philippine Jose Rizal class carry a maximum of 8 anti-ship missiles, the Istif class carries double that amount with 16 ready-to-fire Atmaca anti-ship cruise missiles. Manufactured by Roksun, the Atmaca missile possesses an operational range exceeding 220 kilometers, utilizes an advanced active radar seeker, and executes complex sea-skimming maneuvers at a terminal altitude of just 3 to 5 meters to evade defensive radar networks. This gives Indonesia a massive standoff capability. Furthermore, the inclusion of the 16-cell My-DLAS vertical launching system paired with Hisar-D air defense missiles provides a local fleet air defense umbrella of 40 kilometers. This critical asset will shield smaller patrol craft that currently lack anti-air protection. Third-party defense monitors tracking the Istanbul naval shipyards confirm that the core hull modules for the Indonesian variants are being rapidly completed due to the continuous cash flow provided by Qatars Barzan Holdings. Within the next 12 months, as the first contingent of Indonesian naval crews completes intensive training on the Advent Combat Management System in Turkey and navigates the vessels to Surabaya, the maritime power balance near the critical Sunda and Malacca straits will fundamentally shift. The Navy will possess a mobile area denial capability capable of launching a coordinated 32-missile salvo, forcing competing naval planners to rethink their deployment strategies near Indonesian territorial waters. This brings the Indonesian Naval Command to a classic strategic crossroads between two competing military doctrines. On one side, proponents of immediate firepower argue that having 16 ready-to-fire Atmaca missiles deployed in the North Natuna Sea today is infinitely more valuable than waiting for a perfectly uniform fleet 5 years from now. With rapid maritime encroachment happening along the borders, immediate tactical deterrence outlasts theoretical perfection. On the other side, advocates for unified fleet architecture warn that by integrating a fourth separate combat management system, the Navy risks building a fragile force that could suffer severe maintenance and communication failures during a modern electronic warfare confrontation. Ultimately, the broader lesson from this $1 billion trilateral deal is that middle powers are no longer forced to accept the strict political conditions of traditional Western arms suppliers. By leveraging Middle Eastern financing from Qatar and cutting-edge production schedules from Turkey, Indonesia has proved that a nation can rapidly bypass standard procurement delays to secure heavy weapons. However, the true test will unfold over the next 10 years as the Navy attempts to manage the intense operational costs of its deeply divided surface fleet. If Jakarta can successfully patch the digital communication gaps between its Dutch, Italian, British, and Turkish vessels, it will establish the most formidable area denial umbrella in Southeast Asia. If it fails, these advanced warships may become incredibly expensive isolated assets when a crisis erupts. If you were a strategic planner in Jakarta, would you accept the long-term logistical risks to secure this massive Turkish firepower immediately, or would you wait to build a fully synchronized fleet? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below, and thank you for watching.